Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina. And for those of you that don't know our story, Ron and I did 15 years in the prison system. Ron doing time on the inside, while the kids and I did time on the outside.
And out of our experience doing that type of time, we created a curriculum called TYRO. TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
Or a founding father. And so what TYRO is designed to do is to help you become leaders in your home, your community, and your workplace.
And dads, we have a special segment for you today. And really all the men in the penitentiary, man. We got somebody with us today that not only has set a precedent for generations to come behind him, but is living the life of a TYRO.
And so this show, the TYRO TV, is actually designed to help you, to give you as much knowledge and information as possible to help you on your journey towards becoming better and reestablishing yourself inside prison and through your transition back into home, into your family's lives.
And that's why we got Robert Lomas today, TYRO Robert Lomas today with us, and we are so excited to have you, man. Welcome to TYRO TV.
Yeah, thanks
Ron?
for
How you
joining
doing,
us.
Cathy?
Oh, great.
Good
Great
to
to
see you
have you
again.
here.
Man, we have some history together.
Yes, we do.
Yeah?
You know, I feel like we should probably, wait until the next segment so we talk about opening.
Yeah.
So you guys have some history together.
Yeah.
You've done some life experiences together, right? You've learned some valuable things about each other along your road.
So you're like in the middle, so you're like our mediator.
Yeah.
That works.
I could totally rock this role. Yeah, I'll let you know that. I will mediate between the two gentlemen on my left and on my right. So we're going to learn about Robert's journey, about how Ron and Robert connected, and what he's doing now. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, you're going to get to know who this man is who's sitting next to us at this table. So stay tuned. You are not going to want to miss this.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tiarina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today I am blessed, I am proud to introduce a dear friend of ours.
I'm going to use the word excited. You are excited to have
You know what?
Robert.
I am excited. This is a great honor and a privilege to have, and I shook your hand once. You know what? We could do it like
all
this.
day.
Orderly.
Okay,
You know? Oh, he snapped the finger.
They've done this before, obviously.
Yes.
So it's been a while, but we are so proud of you, Robert. We are so glad to be part of your journey and really get to hear the highlights of your life and where you're at today.
So
but before we get into
it, let's start with how did you meet Ron? Where did you meet him and how did you connect?
Well, Ron had just rode into Lima Correctional, and Ron was, what year was that, Ron?
That was in 2001.
2001. I was a clerk in Lima Correctional 1A.
Yeah.
No, it would have been 2002.
2002.
2002.
Summer of
2002.
2002.
Okay. And I was living in the two-man, which was an annex, which is kind of hard to explain.
Okay,
Maybe Ron-
wait. You were in prison?
Yes, I was a formerly incarcerated.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat's out the bag. In another life, BC before Christ.
That's awesome.
So you and I met in Lima Correctional Institution.
That's correct.
So I am formerly known as 250397.
And I was formerly known as 363-635.
Ooh wee.
Wow.
Something you never forget.
You're right,
Something you
right.
never forget.
Okay, so you met Ron. So he came into your unit.
He came into my unit. Of course, I was the clerk. So I sent him to his bed assignment and make sure he was set up and was okay and all of that. And so I decided to, in the evening time, as he made his way around, he seemed to be familiar with everybody. And, Ron never met a stranger.
Right, that's right. That's exactly right.
So, I was playing my guitar, getting a little R&R, and he came over to my two-man, and Ron says, hey, man, you play pretty nice. I say, yeah, I'm okay. So Ron asked me, are you interested in joining a band? I say, no, I'm kind of busy. You're like, busy doing what? Why don't you just come check it out, man? So we stopped, we changed words, and he's getting ready to go. And I say, by the way, what's your name? He said, hey, man, just call me TJ. It's too complicated. I said, well, by TJ, they call me Rob. Fast forward, the evening come, I go to the chapel. All the way to the chapel, I'm wrestling with, I only know one praise and worship band there, and it's like, it's the guy, Myron White or whatever, that does mostly everything, and they call him Maestro. So I said, there's no other praise and worship band there in the chapel. I said, I hadn't been away from it that long. So I get to the chapel, I go in, and I see TJ, but to my surprise, I see the band. He introduced me to the band, and everybody's Latino. So I call Ron aside and say, Ron, in case you didn't notice, Ron, I'm black. Well, Ron looks at me and he says, well, you got a Latino last name, Rob Lomas.
Yeah.
So he says, music is music. So it turned out to be a blessing. We started jamming together, and we wasn't the greatest band, but we made a joyful noise unto the Lord.
That's awesome.
And
That's very
it was
cool.
really, truly a blessing. And being the clerk, working hand in hand with the officers, and I spend most of my time, most of my days on a lot other than when I would work out. I had an opportunity to observe, a lot of the activity that went on in 1A dorm, and so I had a lot of time to watch Ron.
Oh my gosh, he's a full-time job, isn't he? Watching Ron.
So often I say for those of you who don't know, I'm a psychology major, but I said my psychology degree I got my psychology degree in the institution.
Yeah, for real.
Watching everybody and watching behaviors.
Right.
So as I was observing Ron would do the same thing. He would either call his family or do an count, read his Bible, or work on something that was in a yellow tablet.
Yeah.
It was kind of like top secret and a mystery.
Constantly writing in his yellow tablet. Yeah.
All the time writing in his yellow tablet. So if I was to tell a Ron Tiarino story, it would take up most of this segment, but I will share a couple short ones that stuck out to me. This man had a lot to do with me getting where I'm at spiritually today, because I was in a dark place at that time when I met Ron. And Ron reached out to me even though I was bitter. And Ron often says prison can either make you better or make you bitter. And I was in a bitter place at this time. And so by Ron inviting me to join the band, it was an opportunity for me to be ministered to, for me to be exposed to different people coming in, sharing the word of God, and just being in the house of the Lord. And I can remember one particular story that I want to tell you guys that I'm going to share with you. Anybody ever been to the institution or ever been locked up know that State Week is State Week. State Week is where they post to pay for everyone in the institution. So everyone has funds funds ready to be posted. So everyone's going to stores. Kind of like everybody has money. It's like the first of the month. Right? We're in a long line, so we see TJ. I'm referring to Ron. That's what we call him. So we see Ron at the front of the store. Said we won't be long now. We in the doorway, and like in Lima, we like one end of the door, and we can see the person leaving. So Ron's gone. We getting through the door. So about 5 minutes later, we hear commotion up at the front of the store. People's grumbling and they're mad. So I lean in closer to see what's going on, and it's TJ. He come back to the store. He has his bags, and he's talking to the officer, to the lady, and he's saying that these items in this bag, I didn't pay for them, and maybe they were put in my bag by mistake, and I'm not a thief and I'm not stealing. So everybody's grumbling, and TJ gives returns these items. The lady is like, she's just blown away, because the lady say, who does that? And I'm thinking, who does that? And then Wiley was behind here. And I say, TJ does that. I said, who does it? It's TJ.
Oh man, well I'll tell you what. You know what? This is bringing back a lot of memories. And Robert, it is so good to have you here. We want to we'll go into another segment. We got to take a commercial break. So when we come back, we're going to continue this story and hear Rob's experience and our relationship. And really, I want to also share with the viewers, the TYRO dads and the men in the penitentiary, what you're doing today also. I want to get to there because this is really important.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and what it takes to get where you
Oh,
are.
absolutely. What it takes to get there.
Yeah.
You know.
So you are not going to want to miss
But
this.
before we close out, one thing I want to close out with this one because you said something. Who does that? That's
does
a
that?
future segment right there called
Right.
Who Does That?
Does that?
All right.
Okay, we will be right back. Stay tuned. You do not want to miss this.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina, and today we're talking about relationships and transitions. And that means as people enter your life and the impact that they have on your life, and then the transitions as you go through life together and how those roles will switch and change, but the relationship can continue.
And it's a give and take, right? Relationships. Everything's a give and take. It's not just one person receiving and the other one not, right? And I think in this relationship that I formed with Robert in the penitentiary, it was like a synchronicity. I didn't know, we didn't know what was gonna come about it.
Right.
We didn't know we were gonna connect when we hit the streets or we came out, but we did. And it really changed our lives.
And I think as we talk more about, okay, so you met in prison and then kind of how your relationship continued on as you got out of prison, I really want you dads to be thinking about your relationships that you are forming inside of there. And if those relationships are going to be positive things as you transition out back into your children's lives.
Good word.
Because you're going to bring those things into their lives. So Robert, tell us about, so you met Ron and you were living and watching Ron. Now let's fast forward a little bit. So now you're out of prison, Ron's out of prison. How did you reconnect?
Well, I was working. Doing volunteer work at the mission. I had community outreach and various things. So, a friend of mine at church at Delta Assembly of God said, "You're kind of a little rough around the edges, but you'll fit really good at the Ridge Project." I was like, "The Ridge Project?"
You're a little rough around the
You
edges.
rough around it? I said, "What do you mean rough around the edges? You're kind of aggressive." So
You get along great with Ron.
you get around great. So he gives me a number to call. I call the number when I get home, and I get Nancy.
Okay.
Nancy starts talking to me. I tell her about my vision and tell her about the things God is doing in my life and the things I desire to do. And I'm so excited. I'm sober. I'm clean. I'm saved. I'm feeling good. And she said, "Well, I'll send your application over." She sends me an application over. I turn it in. So I first part of the interview, Ridge, I don't know if you guys still do, but it used to be a 3-part interview.
It still is.
Yep,
Still is.
yep,
So
still is.
first to come in, and I think I met Chris Ridley.
Right,
And Chris Ridley, we took a personality test
Yep.
and some other things, and we just kind of vibed. And Chris was like, "Okay," basically the same, kind of rough around the edges, but it's something about you. So I'm gonna pass you on. I guess it was just the Holy Spirit, one spirit or whatever. And go to the next round, and I still have no idea that this is TJ or Cathy or anything else. So at the second round of interview, I think you guys missed a plane or something. Something happened that delayed your flight, but you came back into the Defiance office, and I didn't recognize TJ, but he recognized me.
Yeah.
He said, "Robbie, man, it's me, it's TJ." And I'm sitting there looking. So the guy said, "Well, I know you hired." The other candidates, so we start talking, and of course, all these memories come back. But I thank God for directing my path back to Ron, because one of the things that, let's rewind just a little bit. One of the things that I was able to witness when I was observing Ron was, I stated back when we first started in the last segment that Ron did, routine was the same. He would pray, or either be reading the Bible, or contacting his wife, or calling Cathy or somebody, or he'll be writing in this mysterious tablet. So finally one day I just asked him, Ron, what are you writing in this tablet? And he turns around, he looks at me, and he goes into the TYRO spiel. Ron, God has gave me a vision. Well, Ron used to call me Robbie when he get excited. Robbie, man, God has gave me a vision to impact families for generations to come. I said, oh God, not another person God is talking to. Keep in mind, I was spiritually immature at this time.
Yeah.
So years later, Ron stuck to it, and Ron stayed the course. He stayed disciplined, him and Cathy. He kept his routine with all the things going on around him. One thing I can say about Ron, he always was Ron. You could not get Ron to do something that was not Ron. Whether it wasn't right in eyesight to God, he wasn't going to do it. And so I had the opportunity. I had no idea. What year was that when I came aboard?
Gosh, let me think.
We was in the
2000 and
last year at Defiance.
So that was 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
2009, 10. I don't know. I've lost track of time. Okay,
We've
so
been here,
anyway.
we've been here
yeah.
6 years, 5 years.
Yeah,
so
so it'd be 2011, 2010.
yep,
2010.
2010.
It was summer of 2010 when I got hired as a case manager, facilitator, and still rough around the edges. But with the proper training and putting in the work, I would like to think I became a pretty decent fatherhood
you
facilitator.
Great facilitator. Yes,
And,
that's exactly right. Great facilitator.
God, one of the things that I thank God for today is not only did God let me see the vision that he gave Cathy and them, he let me witness the whole process. He let me see the finished product. So that just set my faith just into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
That anything is possible.
Yeah.
That's
Because
right.
one of the things with men reentering society from prison, or reentering society from whatever they've been away from, is not being able to see themselves of any value or having anything to offer. And one of the things that that's so awesome about reentry in the Ridge Project is that you're kind of, the thing I love about the Ridge Project, and I take with me still into the teachings today when I work with it, and I'm going to speak a little bit about what I do now a little later, but is they're in the community. The gloves is off. We confronting people. We holding people accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how many times where Ron asked us, hey man, I'm hearing this, take that guy's pen back. He's not living a TYRO life.
Right,
And that's
yeah.
accountability. It's not that we don't love this person.
Right.
We say, unless you take the program again and start, carrying, this goes everywhere. Every suit I have, I'm sorry, you might be mad at me, I got probably
right
about 10 pins. They're on every suit
Yeah.
and every
That's
sports
awesome.
coat
That's
when I
right.
go, because I want a reminder.
That's right. You
Yeah.
can't pretend to be something you're not.
Yeah, I need that as a reminder. This is what I stand for: a man, honor, integrity, and promise.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm not going to, people are, and two things that stick with me that was always TJ. You either infecting everybody you come in contact with, or you can be an atmosphere changer right where you at.
Yeah.
And him, another guy named Wally, and another guy named Harrison, they were men of God amongst great turmoil. And anybody can stand up, like me and Cathy was talking, and do the right thing when it's
Right.
easy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
When it's the popular thing.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
can stand up for what's righteous and for the underdog when it's not popular?
Yeah.
That's a good
You know-
We got to take a pause. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we want to hear more about what you're doing now,
Okay.
about your degree and all of the cool things that you're doing and your future plans. So stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to hear more about Robbie's story and their journey together. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about Mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today we have Robert Lomas, better known as Robbie, right?
We're really focusing in on relationships and the power of relationship to really inspire people's lives and change people's lives. And I want you to be thinking about the relationships you're forming and how those relationships could impact your family.
You know, and that is really a powerful note, Cathy, that really, because you either do what your friends do or you do without them.
Absolutely.
Right? And I tell you what, my friendship that I developed with Robert in Lima Correctional is I hold dear to me to this day. You know, he was a great influence in me because actually Robert was one of my instructors in the weight room. You know, he helped me really understand what it meant to work out, you know, as I was still working out and stuff, but you always find somebody who knows more than you in that compartment. Hey, help me, man. I need to get this over my head. I need to lift this weight. And then we take that in the spiritual aspect or the emotional aspect.
So tell us now, so what are you doing now? So tell us about your degree, tell us about your aspirations, tell us the things you've been working on.
Today, I am employed at a Renewed Mind Mental Health and Substance Abuse Agency, and I am an outpatient counselor in substance abuse, and also I work with one-on-ones, group sessions. We have co-eds. I currently hold a bachelor's degree in psychology, chemical dependency, and our major is abnormal psychology. I'm currently enrolled at Argosy University in the master's forensic psychology program.
That is so awesome.
So what's it called? Forensic
psychology.
Forensic psychology. So let's break that down. Because when I think about forensics, I think about dissecting. You got to really look at the intricacy. What is it that I'm looking at? So
Right.
psychology, forensic psychology, we're talking more mental now, right? More
Now we're
the
talking
mind?
more mental, you know, not the chemical
Right.
aspect of, but more mental. So behaviors. So when I'm done, my master will be in abnormal and criminal behavior.
And all about the way people think.
All about the way people think. And I think it's huge. It's a huge piece to be able to couple that with all the community programming, all the fatherhood, that we get these fathers, we get these families healthy, mentally, spiritually, emotionally as possible.
Yes.
Wow,
That's
that's so
huge.
powerful.
Well,
That is so
congratulations,
fun.
man. Awesome.
Yeah, that is
Man.
awesome. You're having a powerful impact on the lives of the people that
So,
you're
so
serving.
this didn't just happen though the day you got out.
No, it was it was a struggle. The same thing was waiting. That always been waiting. That's waiting on everybody to return. It comes natural to, like Cathy always say, either freeze, fight, or flight. If I had a guy, a therapist, which named Earl Grant from Recovery Service, used to be my supervisor. Earl used to say that when he was addicted to cocaine, once the pressure got on, he went back to what he was familiar with. Once he got so here's the challenge with a lot of guys getting released that's coming back into society. When the pressure's on, you do what you always did. You do what you always did. Well, I know doing time. I know running for my family. I know doing all that is because it's not easy.
Right.
And you're not just going to miraculously, like Ron say, if Ron used to always say, he used to teach us facilitators when we go out that if you're not the woman, not the man that you would want your daughter to marry, you need to become that man.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Because her blueprint on what's acceptable and what's not, or the behaviors of a son, you know, he's looking at you.
Right.
The reason Blake and Brandon know how to behave because even though Ron was there, Ron took the initiative to be like, I'm still dad. Though I'm not physically here, if I
Right.
got the right, see you in the visiting room,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm dad.
Yeah. That's
Right.
good stuff.
So tell us about so as you went from a place of fathering from behind bars to transitioning back into your son's life, what was that journey like?
It was pretty tough because when I got out, I left babies. When I got home, I had a 15-year-old daughter, I had a 14-year-old son, and I had an 11-year-old son. I had Robert Jr., I had Rashonda first, Robert Jr., and Javante. And I didn't come home with that sense of entitlement. I had been missing from their life. So if I wanted them to view me, respect is earned, it's not given.
Right.
So with consistency, they had already been trained to me being missing.
Yeah.
That I'm going in and out of the institution, this cycle. They were already trained to that. So we train people the way we want to, for how we like them to treat us.
Right.
So with consistency, when I start behaving as a dad, doing the things dad's doing, fellowshipping with other fathers, accepting the outbursts I was going to get, you know, which I took some parenting classes
That's awesome.
to get
Yeah.
Javon.
Heck
I
yeah.
cried about it,
Yeah.
but the parole officer told me she recommended that I take a 6 months at the VOA. A 6 month helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought that you know, I was old school, so my dad was old school. I thought, I'm your dad. You're gonna respect me, even though I've been missing for like 5 years.
Right. Yeah.
Who is this stranger?
Right.
So it was a process, and through the process, and through spiritual healing.
But let me. What I'm hearing you say is that you had to humble yourself. You had to become teachable. Because
Yes.
prior to become teachable, or actually teachable or prison, you weren't that man that you are today. So what happened to bring you
I'm
to
going
a
to
place?
pause you again.
Okay.
I know. I'm like, I have the bad job
Well,
of
you're the
being here.
mediator.
I am. Apparently, I'm the mediator. I get to say, wait, stop. Yeah, but we have to pause for just a minute. And when we come back, we want to hear more about your story as we close and kind of wrap things up. But specifically, 3 tips that you would give the guys, the fathers inside, as they think about transitioning out in relationships and how to make that transition to their kids' lives.
Okay.
Okay. So stay tuned, and we will be right back with some advice from Robert Lomas.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tiarina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions. To own it, you'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina. And today we are having a conversation about relationships with Robert Lomas and kind of how those relationships impact our lives. And then remember, gentlemen, that the relationships you have are impacting your children's lives. So we paused. You were getting ready to ask a question.
Well, the question is, I mean, I hear the great accomplishments that you're achieving this day, and going to school and getting these degrees, and now giving back to the community, reinvesting, basically what you took, right, prior to prison. So what happened? I mean, I understand.
That you like basically you
Yeah.
like for whatever reason you weren't learning those things before you went to prison, and now you have such a desire to learn and learn more and learn more and help more and help more. What caused that?
One of the things that that held me hostage so much is that a lot of times, and this is what put me towards the mental health field a lot, is a lot of times we can be misguided, misled, confused. And if we don't know who we are, we could be blinded with visions of grandiosity and other things, and thinking that we're more than we should be. And human beings are meant to bond, and we will bond with something good or bad, and a lot of things at that time. So as I had my prodigal son moment and realized that just maybe, first it started with a thought. Me and TJ was just speaking earlier about, before we can go any farther, hope has to be restored. A lot of these families and a lot of these men that's incarcerated, like I was, once I had no hope. I had resided to my fate that whatever end bestows me in this prison or in the streets or whatever, I thought I had no value. And what was huge, it was, like I said, was seeing TJ and other men stand up. It stuck with me. So I said, just maybe, just maybe something I could say, this mess could come into a message. So the rest is kind of history. And I would advise, if I could leave, any of you guys that's serving time or whatever, prepare yourself. My advice
Tell
would
right
be,
there in that camera.
Yeah.
my advice would be, prepare yourself. Don't wait until you release. Don't wait till 6 months till you go through the little traditional pre-release or whatever. Start preparing yourself today for when you do reconnect with your kids and your family. I would suggest that TYRO dads, that be different behavior. If you need mental health, address that now. It's a perfect time for you to get spiritually, mentally, and physically healthy as you can. So now is the time. It doesn't have to, it doesn't have to, like the old saying, and you guys familiar with this, it ain't over till it's over.
That's right.
It ain't
That's
over till
awesome.
it's over.
That's a good word.
Good word.
That's a good word, Robert, because we are so proud of you of what you get to do today and how you're helping the communities and really just giving back, even from a volunteer basis to what you're getting paid for, because you don't have to do this,
Right.
But you get to do this.
And
What a blessing.
We are almost out of time. And before we totally run out of time, there's one more thing I just want you to talk briefly about, and that is you're writing a book.
Yes.
Can you tell us just a little bit about the book and the title of the book so that we can all be watching for it?
Title of the book, it will be on, the previews is on Amazon, Create Space, the first chapter, and it's called Life in the Circle. And it's based on, Life in the Circle is my life in the circle, the revolving circle, the revolving door in and out of institutions. And it'll say, my time spent in some of the most notorious prisons in the state of Ohio, some of them is museums now, like the Old Man's Field Reformatory and Lima Correctional.
Right.
And the book is is my way of giving back. The same as football players, and as I was watching the football players donate their brain to science,
Right.
I decided that maybe my thoughts can help you guys and maybe liberate you and free you guys, that it is life and hope after prison.
That's awesome.
that's a
Life
good word.
in the Circle.
Life in the Circle.
Life in the Circle, man.
So
You know
watch
what?
for it. And get that book. Read that book.
You know what? I know we're out of time, but Robert, I mean, I would love to have you back. We talk some more about, what does it take to be a true father, a true man of honor? How do you don't take things personal when society's throwing things at you,
Right.
but you keep
Yes.
moving forward.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause
Robert, it's been great to have you on this show. It's
great
been
to be here.
Robert,
Great to see
thank
you
you
guys
so much.
again.
And we want to
Thanks for having
thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey towards becoming a better dad.
Always remember that we are rooting for you.